the female CEO fired an employee who was playing games at work. She never expected the company to go bankrupt the next second. All because the company's servers instantly crashed completely. And the person responsible for development was the employee she just fired. At this moment, no one in the company could fix the issue. Customer complaint calls were already overwhelming the system. If the problem wasn't resolved soon, the company's stock price would not only drop, it might even face the risk of bankruptcy. The woman finally realized the disaster she caused. It turned out Tony wasn't just the backbone of the company. He was also the core developer of the 6G project. Every time the main control system program crashed, he could fix all the issues in just 1 minute. The chairman had offered Tony millions in bonuses and a luxury car, even gave him company shares as a sign of sincerity, because once Tony's communication technology succeeded, it could bring the company billions in profit. More importantly, it could break through the technological barriers of the East. But one day, the chairman was on a business trip and appointed his recently returned daughter as acting CEO. On her first day at work, she wanted to clean up the company's atmosphere. She happened to catch Tony playing games during work hours. She immediately poured a glass of cold water on his face and announced on the spot that Tony was fired. Tony suggested she consult the chairman first, but the assistant next to her said, "The CEO's decisions represent the chairman's will." Seeing her arrogance and lack of reason, Tony didn't want to argue further. He just told her she'd regret it, then started packing his things. But the company employees rushed forward to say they'd leave with Tony. Tony advised them to stay for now, since he wasn't sure where he'd go next. Hearing this, the employees tried to plead for him, saying Tony was the backbone of the company's technology. If he left, no one else could handle system malfunctions. But the CEO dismissed their concerns entirely. She thought she had only fired a lazy employee who wouldn't affect the company at all. She even urged him to leave quickly. But just as Tony stepped out of the company, the system began to collapse the very next second. No one in the company could fix it. The CEO suddenly remembered her father's warning that there was one person in the company who must never be fired. She began to suspect, was it the manager she had just fired? At this moment, an employee brought even worse news. The server had crashed so severely, complaint calls were almost crashing the system. If the issue couldn't be fixed quickly, the company's stock price would be affected, and bankruptcy might be imminent. While everyone was at a loss, the CEO suddenly remembered her 3-year online boyfriend. He was the world's top-ranked communications engineer. Fixing such small bugs would be a breeze for him. She quickly sent him a message asking for help, but little did she know, her online boyfriend was Tony. When Tony learned she was in trouble, he agreed to help without hesitation, but he said the issue had to be explained in person. When she brought her employees to meet him, she discovered her online boyfriend was actually the Tony she had just fired. At this moment, the CEO didn't realize her online boyfriend was Tony. Instead, she accused Tony of sabotaging the company's system after leaving, demanding he pay a compensation of $10 million. Tony had never been so insulted before. He immediately returned the bank card and luxury car the chairman had given him and announced he would sever all ties with the company. At this moment, the chairman called, but the CEO smashed the phone on the ground. She even declared she would blacklist Tony in the industry. Tony, unable to bear it any longer, vowed to make her pay the price she deserved.